Oh, hi. Hello. How you doing? My name is Waldo, and I'm here to feel the politics with you. I'm playing with a doggy right now. I hope you appreciate how difficult it is to stream with a sore throat and a little doggy. Let me see if I can grab him because he's here. I got him on the line. You see, I got him. He's here. He's here. I can kind of bring him up. There he is. See, there he is, jumping around. Adorable little monster, isn't he? Anywho, hi, how's it going? Yeah, I got a little bit of a sore throat over the weekend. I wish I could say that it was from the amazing amount of protesting I did, but I got there a little late, and so we just got drunk and sang karaoke, and then that caused my throat to go bad. And it's been difficult, and it's been kind of tricky, but the show must go on. So if you're watching, if you're paying attention, hop to chat, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling. Go on over to the Discord that's in chat right now. And I can put it in YouTube chat too, I suppose, if I were smart. I am. I did it. You can put it in YouTube chat there, and you can go there, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling, leave links to talk about and things that you want to discuss. So, yeah, as you can see from the amazing title I've got right there tonight, I'm just going to be complaining about a couple of things. I've got some news links to look at, some Graham Plattner stuff to look at, then some the dumbest lawyer in the world, and then maybe... and then we're going to look at Trump's amazing AI poop video. It's very great. He dumps poop on the people, and it's very funny. It's so hilarious that we have to talk about it, and because it's politics now. That's politics now. AI videos of pooping on people. It's a whole thing. So we'll take a look. We'll see what's going on. So let's get it started, and then I'll turn all this stuff into YouTube videos. There's a dog licking my toes right now. And that makes everything more difficult. It really does. Let's look at this over here. Window capture. Click it. We'll go down here. We'll go right there. Well, the first thing I want to talk about tonight is this is demolition of the White House. You see this? This is people... You don't really need the sound, but the east wing of the White House is being destroyed so that Donald Trump can build a ballroom that no one asked for, no one wants, and nobody needs. Is that upsetting to me? Not really. The idea that you would break down an old building, a building new one, is fine with me, really. Nothing is sacred to me. So I'm not like morally offended that the White House is being changed or broken. I accept change. I welcome progress. But the issue I have with this is that only a couple of weeks ago, the conservatives were screaming bloody murder about Cracker Barrel, a private company, changing their logo. They weren't going to change anything inside the store. They weren't going to change the menu. They weren't going to take the corn away from you. They weren't going to stop covering everything in gravy. They just took the white guy and the barrel and the cracker, off of their logo. And conservatives were angry. They were hateful. They were vicious, and they were mean. But this is fine. Conservatives, if you think this is fine, but the Cracker Barrel logo can never change, I don't think you have any ethics. I think you have any principles. Why is this fine, but the Cracker Barrel logo changes is unacceptable? I don't get it. Explain it to me. You can't, because you're all emotional and you're children, basically. You're immature and you can't handle complicated subjects. So that is kind of the theme I'm going with tonight. Let's look at... let's start with the wacky stuff that is in the news today. Graham Plattner, very cool guy. Unless he's not. Nobody's sure. Nobody knows. Who is Graham Plattner? He is running for Senate in Maine, which is good. We need senators from Maine. We need people who aren't Republicans to win those things. But he might have a Nazi tattoo. That's the thing, man. This is some secret code shit on Stormfront. And he's got it right there. Is he a secret Nazi? Normally, I would say no. But there are a lot of fucking secret Nazis cruising around these days. There's a lot of them, aren't there? They're all over the place. They just keep popping up left and right. We got those Republican secret leaked stuff last week that said, I love Hitler. Let's get people into the gas chambers, all that bullshit that J.D. Vance tried to defend. We got all of that. And now we got this. And we've got, who is this? This is a Trump nominee, reportedly spewed slurs, said he has a Nazi streak in a leaked chat. So all these leaked things keep coming out about secret Nazis. Graham, buddy, it's a bad time for us to see this fucking photo. It really fucking is. Even if you're not, and you do believe all the left-leaning progressive type things that you say, I can't trust you anymore. Graham, I'm sorry, dude. Bad timing. Real bad timing. We've got secret Nazis all over the place. We've got Fetterman, who got a bunch of brain damage and then moved to the right and became Israel's strongest soldier. I don't know what to do about that. He didn't used to be that way. At least I don't think he was. In the way that I looked at him and the things that I saw, he was fine. He was a left-leaning progressive type working class guy. But he's not anymore. Kristen Sinema. Everybody on the left was super excited when she got elected. She was a bisexual who wore a tube top to get sworn in. It was real fucking weird. Mike Pence was really awkward swearing her in because he thought she was some sort of joke or trick or something. He was afraid she was going to attack him and suck out his vital male essence. But she turned on us too. She immediately went into hard right-wing, middle-aged lady white nationalism. It's a thing that happens. You can look it up. So we got to be careful. And this is the kind of thing that you want to be careful. This is us being careful. This is us being careful, Graham. And I don't know what to make of this. The people of Maine are going to have to vote on it. We can see that he covered it up with something else that some people are saying is another Nazi tattoo. He got his Nazi tattoo covered by what appears to be a second Nazi tattoo, but I don't think it is. I don't know. There's not a whole lot you can do with the original. There's not a lot you can do with that. You just have to mostly cover it up. And so they kind of turned it into this wolf thing, but some people are saying that that's fucking Fenrir or some dumb shit. That's Norse secret code for Nazi. And they got Nazis so many secret codes. And he has a 1919, which again might represent Nazism, or it might not. It's like, there was another post on this thing. Here we go. And he's got this thing over here, which is probably fine. It's axes, and then it says something about 1919. And they're saying that it was the TFC, whatever the damn hell that is. It was established in 1919. That's fine. It was actually established in 1990. So here we go. We got our trail crew here. That's the thing. It's 1990. Okay, great. But you know who secretly hides 1919s all over themselves? Nazis. They secretly do that when no one's looking. They put all those things secretly in there so that you don't notice, so that they can signal to each other who they are. And that's the difficulty. Is he just really unlucky in these situations, or is he a secret Nazi? We don't know. Let me get this right out of the way. Who wrote this? This is Graham Plattner isn't passing the test. The Senate candidate didn't just get a Nazi tattoo. He kept it. And his handling of the scandal has been dire. Written by Rafi Schwartz. Let me get this out of the way right off the bat. I don't know if Graham Plattner is a secret Nazi or is just a fucking moron. I suspect it's more of the latter, but frankly, there's enough ambiguity and weirdness coming from the Plattner camp that it's hard to say for certain. What I do know is that if the past couple of days are any indication, the top turned oysterman turned ostensibly leftist wonder kid candidate is in pretty big trouble, entirely of his own making, because while having a large SS death's head tattoo is kind of a campaign problem in and of itself, being a wacky dickhead about it, like Plattner has been, is just digging up the stupid. So he has been talking to people about it, he's been explaining it, and he has covered it up, but I don't know, maybe it's just really bad timing, man. Like, there are secret Nazis all over the government right now, and you showing up with this surprise tattoo that you covered up, and you have a 1919 on you, which might be another secret Nazi thing. Just bad timing, boss. I'm sorry. Like, he's a young guy. Wait for the next Senate election. If you're really strong about it, next time after Donald's out and the government isn't filled with secret Nazis, then maybe you give it a shot. There are too many secret Nazis right now to trust him. And it's not like the state of Maine could do it any better. Susan Collins is going to win again because she just won. He won this for her because the Dems are putting up a 77-year-old or something to run in the primary against that guy. So in the Dem primary, it's going to be the maybe secret Nazi versus a 77-year-old woman who's going to do nothing and accomplish nothing and do no progressive things. She's not going to push anything to the left. She's going to be a good Dem who stands completely quiet, votes Dem the way Chuck Schumer tells her to. She's going to do everything Chuck Schumer tells her to. And he's going to support her. He's going to be great. It's going to be fine for them. But I would like younger people to be in charge. I don't want 77-year-olds running for Congress for the first time. I would prefer something better, something newer. And this guy had potential. And then we found out about him, and we're worried. So that's going to be something to watch and pay attention to in the future. What is going on? So I'm going to probably hop to the important bits because my throat's already starting to bother me. What are we talking about tonight? Tonight, for the main event, the most important thing we're going to talk about tonight is Lindsay Halligan. Who is Lindsay Halligan? You probably never heard of her, but you might have seen her photo a few times in the past few days. She's Trump's new super favorite lawyer because she's a moron and she's a lady and she kind of has Mar-a-Lago face. She hasn't got the orange makeup yet, but she's going to work on it, I'm sure. Johnny has a type. This is his type. So anybody who looks like this and acts like this and carries yourself this way, Johnny has a job for you, and it's to be his lawyer. So what is she doing? She is the hand-picked prosecutor willing to go after his political enemies. Some high-ranking Trump officials and advisors are now gleefully watching this prosecutor, Lindsay Halligan, an idiot, screw up and are predicting her future downfall. 4 sources similar to the matter tell this to Zateo. Multiple Trump administration appointees and others close to the president say Halligan is behaving in a way that all but guarantees she is one of the first people subpoenaed when Democrats regain control of Congress or the Department of Justice. This train wreck is going to be the most subpoenaed person in not too long, one Trump-aligned federal law enforcement official said. Okay, she's dumb. She's real dumb, y'all. She is the one who is trying to prosecute Jim Comey. But she's dumb. She's real stupid. She doesn't know what she's doing. She had 1 million mistakes or something like that in her in that big docket of information that she brought to the court. And they're drumming her out of it. They're telling her that she's doing a bad job. They're telling her that she's very stupid. She also had a weird run-in with a reporter named Anna Bauer. She's a reporter of attorneys and shit. Very important person who knows what the hell's going on usually. This is the signal exchange between U.S. interim attorney about Letitia James' grand jury. So I'm not going to read the whole thing again, I'm not going to read the whole thing to you. You can go to look up Anna Bauer. This is making the rounds all over the news places. The important bits are that Lindsay Halligan reached out to tell Anna that the story was wrong, but didn't tell her how it was wrong, and wouldn't give her any new information or new evidence or point her in any direction to look at something else. She just said, "You're wrong." Anna, the reporter, just took what the New York Times was talking about, took that information, talked about it herself, much like I'm doing here, and then Lindsay Halligan came to her, but didn't tell her what to change. So the important bit here is... so let's start if we go back to the beginning. As with many Trump world stories, this one began with someone getting sacked. That someone was Eric Siebert, Halligan's predecessor as the U.S. Attorney in Eastern Virginia, who was removed or forced to resign last month because he wouldn't bring charges against Letitia James, who didn't commit any crimes. See, Siebert said, "What's the crime?" Then he looked at the evidence and said, "There's no crime here." He's got to go. He has got to go. Okay, so MAGA World chased him out. They said, if you're not going to bring charges against somebody who hasn't committed any crimes, then you're not the guy for us. And they brought in someone stupider. And let's see. According to multiple reports, Siebert had raised doubts that the evidence was strong enough to pursue criminal charges against the two of President Trump's longtime adversaries, New York Attorney General Letitia James, who won a civil fraud verdict against Donald Trump Organization, and the former FBI Director James Comey, whom Trump has fired during his first term and is long blamed for the so-called Russiagate investigation. Siebert said there's no evidence to charge these people, so they fired him. And they brought in somebody stupider who can't tell you why she's why the reporter's wrong. We don't want to get into all the details, but the important bit is right down here, I think. Okay. Lindsay Halligan says, "You're reporting things that are simply not true. Thought you should at least have a heads up." Okay. What's not true about them? The reporter, who's a good reporter, actually says, what's incorrect? So she replies with, "Okay, I'm all ears. What am I getting wrong?" Halligan says, "Honestly, so much. I can't tell you everything, but your reporting in particular is just way off." Then she said it was clear to her that I jumped to biased conclusions based on what I read rather than looking into the evidence. What evidence? They don't have any. She's not giving you anything. Halligan saying you're wrong because you're wrong. You're wrong. Trust me. She's offering no different alternative. She's offering no different position. She's just saying you're wrong and you're biased. That's it. That's the whole thing. You're wrong and you're biased. Well, why? Says the reporter. You're wrong and you're biased, says Lindsay. Why? Says the reporter. You're just being difficult now, says the real attorney, who may not be a real attorney. Online debate forums have been a part of our discourse for so long that we feel normal within them. You know, the Hassan Dog drama is a good topical example. There are people condemning him and showing clips of him making arguments, and they're showing clips of him. They're making their arguments that he didn't hurt a dog. I don't know. There are people defending him and saying that he didn't, and there are people attacking him saying he did. They're all showing clips. They're all making arguments. Dog trainers on YouTube have analyzed the video, and they've made content on both sides of this debate. That's fine. That's human nature. That's what the culture wants. That's content. But content doesn't stand up in a court of law. And that is where MAGA and their officials and their followers fall apart. They think that content is reality and is admissible in court. It's not. Donald Trump loses all his court cases. When he brought up all these court cases about the 2020 election. He lost all of them. That wasn't a Democratic conspiracy. Donald hires lawyers who don't know what evidence actually is. MAGA does not use evidence to come to their conclusions. No. They use storytelling techniques to convince people. They string emotional through lines to write a plausible fiction that feels good to the listener. It feels good to the right wing, to the middle American MAGA faithful, that Hillary had 4 million illegal votes in 2016. There's no evidence of that. Didn't happen. There's no proof that existed. But it feels good to them. It feels good for these right-wing people to hear Donnie promise to deport 40 million illegal criminals out of the country quickly. But the evidence suggests that there aren't that many. There are only 13, 14, maybe 15 million illegal people in the country. And only a small fraction of those are committing any crimes. They're not criminals. That's what the evidence says, but that doesn't sound good. That doesn't make them feel happy. So they need someone to tell them what to feel. Conservatives tell stories, and liberals describe policy. That is the big difference between these two parties. That is the problem that we have communicating right now. Al Gore, I know, old. I know, I'm old. I know, I'm old. I admit that. Al Gore was lecturing back in 1999 when he ran for president. But Bush is a guy you can drink a beer with, you know? And what do you do when you drink a beer with someone? You tell them a funny story. You tell them a crazy story about that time you were in Mexico with a bunch of Canadian strippers. And it's funny. It's a good time. But if you were drinking a beer with Al Gore, he would just bore you to death with statistics and studies and math. All accurate, legitimately sourced, correct math. But it's boring. Policy is incredibly boring. So Republicans don't talk about it in detail anymore. They'll make some shit up, but Trump just picks any issue his faithful fans have and then give them a villain. Illegals are taking your jobs. Woke professors are ruining your economy. Antifa is causing crime. And he can even mix those up. It doesn't matter what order he puts those sentences in. Like, he won't lose a drop of support. Woke professors are taking your jobs. Antifa is ruining your economy. Illegals are causing crime. He can just change up the things anytime he wants. It doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be logical. He doesn't run a logical movement. The illogical story is what you're looking at with Lindsay Halligan thing here. When she is upset with this reporter, it's because the reporter doesn't believe the nonsensical imaginary story that she wrote and put together, and she's going to tell the court. The court is going to ask her for evidence, and she's going to give them streamer drama. She's going to give them content, stream drama. Imagine it in a cleverly woven story. So what did happen? Okay, so what did happen? She really wants Letitia James to be guilty of something, anything. So they asked around, and one lunatic guy said he could prove that she lied on a mortgage form. That's it. That's the whole thing. That's what they want to base their entire worldview on. Conservatives right now are basing their entire worldview, Donnie is anyway, and he's dragging all those followers along with him, that Letitia James lied on her mortgage form, and she can't be trusted to be the DA if she lied on that form. And if she lied on the form and she can't be trusted to be the DA, then the charges she brought against Donald Trump are invalid. And if those are invalid, then the 34 felony counts that he was proven guilty on don't count. And if those don't count, then Russiagate never happened. Then, if Russiagate never happened, then he did win in 2020, and Hillary did cheat in 2016, and Obama was born in Kenya, and Jon Stewart will apologize to Trump for all the mean things he said, and then Trump's father, Frank Trump, will come down from heaven and shake Donnie's hand and tell him that he's done a good job. Then the liberals will finally agree with him, and then a man in the crowd will stand up and start a slow clap, and that man was Albert Einstein. This is how this whole system works within their brains. They want...
It all unravels. That one thread.
All of that will unravel if Letitia James isn't brought up on charges. And if she is brought up on charges, and then she gets away from it, or the court throws it out because it's not a crime, then all those other things won't get to happen. Well, they might happen later, but it's an evil hoax by the liberals that stopped all of these good things from happening. You know, all the good thing of her being perp walked and thrown in jail. The good thing of her being removed from DA. The good thing of the Trump charges being invalidated. The good thing that the 34 felony counts are thrown out. The good thing of Albert Einstein clamping. All of those things are tied together as one big storyline that the conservatives are trying to weave together. That's not how court works. That's not how the court of law operates. You can't just bring in stream drama and a really cool story. They want evidence. They want facts. They want you to prove it beyond a shadow of a doubt. So the news media, and Anna Bauer being one of them, is paid to pay attention to these kinds of things. So they looked into the stuff. They checked the sources, and they were like, nah, man, the thing that Letitia James did at worst is like a mistake. It's not a crime. So the lawyer, Eric Siebert, refused to accuse someone of a thing that is not a crime. He looked at the evidence and doubts that he could get any conviction because it's not a crime. So he had to be fired and replaced with someone who will tell the imaginary story, someone who will accuse Letitia James of crimes with no evidence. And then because she's dumb and an immature child, she gets mad at people. And she gets mad at this reporter for proving her story incorrect. This hasn't even made it to court yet. And the reporters are all like, yeah, this isn't going to fly. It's not going to work. The things you said aren't real. They're not true. How is this going to fly in court? The thing about court is that conservatives think it's just like it is on TV, where everybody shows up, no one knows what's going to happen, and then you get to yell objection a few times, and then you get to have a surprise witness, and then you throw out some evidence that nobody had ever seen or heard of before, and then the judge gavels and brings you up to the bench and says, I'll allow it, and then you prove that you're right with a stirring speech. No, man, court is way more boring than that. It is far more procedural. And you don't get surprise witnesses. You don't get surprise evidence. You don't get to just tell people a fun story and expect them to believe it. You have to prove shit with evidence. Conservatives don't know that. They don't know any of that shit. Man, they're just TV people. They're drama people. They're live stream people. They're internet comment people. That is what they are. That is what they think is real. They think Donald Trump ran a business and was firing people on a goddamn TV game show. It was a set. It was a reality TV show, no different from Survivor. Do you think the Survivor people are actually in mortal danger of starving to death? They have a camera crew following them around, eating whatever they want. It wouldn't surprise me if the camera crew's like munching on candy bars while all these half-naked idiots sit in the dirt. And if anyone gets injured, they fly them off in a helicopter. It's fake. It's imaginary. It's like the wrestling, the WWE. I know. I'm going to make everybody mad when I say it, but they know who's going to win ahead of time. They have, it's written in a contract. They know who's going to win. And then they go out there and they do their performance. As fun as it is, as cool as it is, I can't perform like that. I can barely walk down the stairs without hurting myself. I can't jump off the top of a rope and land on another guy. I'll die. But they know who's going to win at the end. They know when to kick out. They know when to do the 2 count. 1, 2, then kick out. They know. It's scripted. Sorry, it is. It's very fun to watch. I mean, you can have a good time watching Survivor, but it's scripted. There's nobody in mortal danger there going to die. Courtrooms are not exciting. Courtrooms are not a place of wild speculation. They are a place of law, boring words, and rules, man. And the conservatives don't like that.
Such lies, Waldo.
I know, I'm sorry. I know, I'm ruining wrestling for everybody. I'm ruining wrestling tonight.
The Rock is still cooking.
The Rock is still cooking. I would agree to that. Um, but because they're immature, because they're children, they think that you can just go into the courtroom. This lovely lady right here, where'd she go? This lady thinks that if she just goes in and tells a convincing story, the judge will allow her to put someone in jail who didn't break any laws. Because they don't like her. She did a thing that they don't like. They don't like it when people are mean to Trump. So they have to get back at them. They have to bring them to justice. They're children. They're baby-brained. They don't know how the real world actually operates. It's stream drama. That doesn't hold up in court. And while we're on the subject of children and baby-brained, poop-brain bullshit, here is King Trump. You've probably seen this, but at Jet. This is AI video because it's slop. Of course it is. Donald Trump loves AI video. All fascists love AI videos. King Trump right here. And then he comes in. I can't play the song, but then he's got his crown because he is the king. You know, he is the king. And then he sees the people of the city, and then he drops a bunch of poo-poo on them. He poo-poos on the protesters. Oh, no. The protesters, they got the poo-poo on them. The poo. They're getting pooed on. This is the poop. He's dropping the poop on them. Children. Man. Childish, immature, baby-brained poop flinging. Is this the common sense that the right wing brags about so often? Are these the facts and the logic?
My fault for sitting down to dinner right now.
I know. I'm sorry. I did not expect you to be eating
Perfect
dinner right now.
metaphor for what Trump is doing to the U.S.
Right, and he's shitting on everybody. He's wrecking everything. I wish it's worse. He's destroying the country rather than just dropping a little bit of water on it, poop water on people. But are these the facts that don't care about my feelings? No. There are no adults in the Republican Party. There are no adults in the conservative movement. They are all sexually frustrated 12-year-old idiots. All of them. Have you ever listened to their ideas? All immigrants rounded up and sent to their country. Nice plan, kid. How do you plan to do that? They don't know. I see awesome crimes. Let's send in the army. Hey, good try, champ. How's that going to work? Are they going to arrest them or are they going to shoot everybody? How are they going to know? Are they going to prove it in a court?
Don't
No, it
forget
doesn't matter.
Nazis. They have Nazis.
They have not. Nazis are also immature. They are. We're going to throw all the workless. We're going to throw all the homeless into work camps. Yeah, you would think that. You're 12 years old. Good job, buddy. Conservatives do not have the decision-making abilities of adults. They're emotionally, socially, morally underdeveloped. And their media knows it. The right-wing grift economy knows that they are immature morons.
Hitler was a jealous man baby, too.
He sure was. He was a jealous man baby, absolutely. The Ben Shapiro's, the Benny Johnsons, the Posobiec's, they all know that these people are morons and idiots and will follow whatever shiny objects you throw in front of them. So they herd them from one pointless moral panic to the next. And it works on half the country. And that's the problem, is that we have to run an actual society with these people who are too dumb to grow up. They are stuck in a state of arrested development. They cannot become smarter. They cannot move forward in maturity. They can't get any better. So my message to the conservatives is to grow up. Government policies have real consequences. If Medicare fails, humans die. If Medicaid goes bankrupt because Donald Trump moved $40 billion to Argentina for no damn reason, humans die. We cannot treat the government and politics. Politics is how you become part of the government. We cannot treat the government as some sort of joke, as some sort of team sport where our team gets a turn and then your team gets a turn, and then we'll just fight to see who gets the turns, and the policy will just take care of itself. Policy matters. But since they are immature people, you can't explain that policy to them. You cannot tell them about the tax rebate and how it's going to help 7,000 people make all this money. It's boring as shit. They hate it. They don't want to listen to a lecture from somebody that is even giving them 100% accurate numbers. If you have accurate numbers and you read them out to people, they will not listen. They don't care anymore. They doze off. Their eyes glaze over and they start thinking about, I don't know, whatever it is dumb people think about. What do I do when I glaze? I start thinking about my next stream or anime, or I sing a song in my head, an anime opening song in my head, or something along those lines. I don't know. I'm not saying I'm that much better than them. I'm only slightly better than them. I'm not enlightened or anything like that. But I recognize my problems, and I am wearing a Nintendo 64 shirt telling you the conservatives are immature. I want you to think about that. Like, I can control my immaturity. I can control my feelings. I can control my thought processes. They can't. They literally can't do it. If they see something that they don't like, they immediately get mad, and the only thing that will keep them in line is the fear of God sending them to hell, or the fear of state violence harming them. That's it. It's the only thing that can throw them off from what they were thinking, from doing just the most basic caveman shit that they want to do all the time.
Or they're like Jesse Lee Peterson that only has a pocket full of zingers while not understanding a swath of simple English.
Yeah, you can't talk to Jesse Lee Peterson. I've watched his videos and stuff like that. He's got, you're right, you nailed him, Alcidian. He's got 2 or 3 zingers. He's got a couple of one-liners that someone else taught him because he's a parrot. He is a circus animal. You know, the lion doesn't understand why it's jumping on a ball and holding its balance and standing up and putting the ringleader's head in its mouth and then closing its mouth. He doesn't get it. He doesn't understand ticket sales. The lion doesn't comprehend that the crowd is in Biloxi this week, and then he'll be in Topeka next week, and then there'll be a different crowd. He doesn't get any of that. He doesn't understand the economics. He just knows that he gets hit, or he's been trained, or he's been conditioned to do the things when they tell him to do the things. And that's what Jesse Lee Peterson is. He's a trained circus animal. I wish I could educate him, but he doesn't want to be educated. He's paid to stay that trained circus animal. And that's what most of the conservative people are. They are trained circus animals. Duck speak is what they called it in 1984. I think it's a really good definition. What is duck speak? I'm Googling it so I can get a real good definition, then we can discuss it. Duckspeak is newspeak from George Orwell's novel 1984, meaning literally to quack like a duck or to speak without thinking. It is used to describe speech that is delivered without active thought, often sounding like meaningless noise. So that's what I think most conservatives do. You can't fix healthcare. Duckspeak. You know, both sides are the same. Duckspeak. Let me see if I can think of any other ones. I wasn't planning on it. I should make a list of Duckspeaks. Maybe. Down with Obamacare. This is just hate for Obamacare, but love for ACA. It's weird. And Duckspeak. It doesn't matter. They don't know what the words mean. I'll maybe start documenting some of them on the Discord or something like that. But yeah.
It's like when you ask them what a communism is.
What's communism? Oh, it's make a duck emoji. Well, yeah, it's not a bad idea. Duck emoji for Duckspeak. I like that. I kind of like that. So when we hear them doing it, we can do the duck emoji. I like that. I'm going to work on that. That's a good call. Well, City, and I like that. So I want to work on that. Then what did I have to talk about tonight? It's going to be a short one because my voice can't really hold up for very much longer. I'm going to complain about the protests. I'm glad that everyone went to the No Kings protest. It was good. Public solidarity is a good thing. Yeah, I know. You could. You're working on pixel art already. You could just throw out some emojis. Public solidarity is a good thing. But no one felt any pain from this protest. It was scheduled. It was calm. It was orderly. It happened on time. It ended on time. It happened on a weekend. It's not any different than a parade. I'm not trying to shit on anybody that went there. I'm glad you went. I hope you had a good time. I hope you felt some solidarity. I hope you felt less alone. That's a good thing. But if there is no pain felt by the people in charge, it will change nothing. Donald Trump does not care about the No Kings parade. That showed up as scheduled and ended and cleaned up after itself. If it weren't on CNN or Fox News calling it the Hate America rally, he wouldn't have even known that it happened. Until those protests shut down society, those protests will not be taken seriously. And because the current government is a fascist-leaning government, they will respond with state-sponsored violence to a protest that shuts down society. And I think we're stuck in this limbo, this middle area where everybody hates what's going on. Things keep ramping up. More and more states are just jumping face first into gerrymandering. I think North Carolina, all of it posted something in the thing. North Carolina just jumped further into gerrymandering. They're like, oh, everybody's gerrymandering? Fuck, the gloves are off. We're all gerrymandering everywhere all the time. And they're all going for their color. All the red states are gerrymandering to red. California's about to gerrymander into blue states, into a blue haven. And it's not going to end well. This won't end with a polite protest that's scheduled and everybody shows up on time and everybody marches during the approved route and then everybody goes home. That's not where we're headed. That's not where you should expect this to go. That protest is nice and good, and I'm glad everyone did a good thing, but it won't change anything. Don's going to bomb another boat tomorrow. He's going to keep taking your rights away. He's going to keep gerrymandering. The red states are going to gerrymander some more tomorrow. And there's going to be another leak of secret Nazis within the Republican Party. It's going to happen. And then the real protests have to happen after this next election. If Donnie fucks with them. If Donnie fucks with this next election, the 2026 election, the real protests have to start. And it won't be, hey, let's show up on a Saturday and go home on a Saturday afternoon. It'll have to be all day, every day within the places of power. Shut down societies.
I want to see some Nazi flag burning.
And that will have to be done in front of the courthouses. You know? There are plenty of leftists protesting in front of ICE facilities right now. But the No Kings protest didn't happen in front of ICE facilities. I'm not saying that they should have, but they didn't happen there. If those, and that's the trick that we've fallen into because of capitalism. Nobody can take a day off. Nobody can show up at a protest. And because capitalism has run amok, we don't have labor unions, which means that labor unions can't organize a strike, can't organize a general strike. You don't have that kind of power. Every 5 minutes, I see another person on Blue Sky or something like that calling for a general strike on this day and a general strike on that day and a general strike on this day. And it's just not going to work. It takes years of labor union organizing to have enough power to do a general strike. We don't have that anymore. Sorry to be doomer. Sorry to drag everybody down with my ugly voice tonight, but that's where we are. We can't move forward with what we've got. We can only collapse.
I had to educate my youngest sister the other day about unions. She had no clue that was a system that existed.
Right. They don't even talk about it anymore. Nobody knows what they are. No one knows where they come from. And if we want to make the world a better place, try and join a union. It really is. Try and join one. In whatever job you're at, don't do it crazily. Don't just march in tomorrow morning and demand unionization. You'll get fired. Even though that's illegal, nobody cares. The government won't protect you. Find out if the job you're applying for has a union and then join it. Find out if there's a way to start one in your industry. Find out if there is one in your area that maybe don't even have to be a member of a specific job to be a part of. Some of them are more like social clubs where you got to show up and they will teach you how to start one in your own workplace. It's very complicated. It's very difficult. It's very delicate. So if you don't feel up to it, don't. That's fine. But if we had more of it, then the general strike becomes viable. But that still takes years to organize. And we are only 1 year away from what I'm thinking will be the kickoff of our Civil War. The 2026 midterms are going to be such a shit show. There's going to be troops in poor places. There's going to be ICE people rounding up motherfuckers who are standing in line to vote. And then people will protest loudly, angrily. The gerrymandering will have happened, and Donald Trump will, what's that word where he takes it? He's going to have the troops confiscate voting equipment, voting apparatuses, votes, ballots, and arrest people who are counting the votes. And at that point, things will get ugly. They'll have to, or else we will. I mean, it could go either way. It could be, hey, well, it's fine. He just does that. That's just the kind of thing he does. And if we let him get away with it, he will do it again in 28, and he will be president again for a few more years. He will. He'll get a third term if he wins in 26. So then the only way to stop him in 26 is massive protests that don't end and aren't polite. But that is dangerous for everybody involved. It's dangerous for me. It's dangerous for you. It's dangerous for everybody. I can't go to work if the downtown is clogged. Do I get fired? Maybe. That sucks. And innocent people will be harmed by this. But innocent people are being harmed by every day. ICE agents every day. So I know it's a short stream tonight. I've only been on for a few minutes, but that's all I can do tonight. I appreciate everybody who's here. Thanks for coming in. I'll say to Cincinto, thank you. I appreciate you. What you see is thanks for holding it down in the YouTube side. I am just about talked out for today. I know it's my fault, and it is my fault. I have a sore throat. So I will be back on Saturday. What am I working on? So just to get you back here on Saturday, just to tease you, what am I working on? I'm putting together like I'm thinking about the conservative feelings ecosystem. It's going to be a good time. I'm going to rant about it on Saturday, unless something really big comes up. So that's what I'm doing. I'm going to turn that into a YouTube video, and then I'll complain about the conservative feelings ecosystem. If you have any ideas about conservative feelings, hop into the Discord, tell me what you're thinking, tell me what you're feeling, and then I will see you guys again on Saturday. So have a good night, Mouse City. Thanks. Yeah, it's kind of a quiet night. And normally on a night like this, I would play video games, but I can't talk anymore. So I appreciate everybody who's here. Peace out. Everybody have a good time. I will be back on Saturday unless the Gestapo kicks in